What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com, and today we're just going to be simply going a quick little recap in terms of the 7 essential fat loss habits, and then I also want to share with you guys just the transition that we're going to be going over next into the 7 mindset habits. Let's dive in. Let's now look into the overview of how to actually create habits for yourself. Most people would believe that, hey, you need to do something every single day for 21 days or 30 days, and that's actually how you formulate a habit. That's completely false, because I'm pretty sure you have done something that you probably didn't want to do, but hey, maybe you wanted to get a set result, so maybe it's cutting out your carbs or not eating next to anything or doing all these crazy, high intensity workouts where, hey, guess what? Maybe for 30 days or maybe 2 months or who knows, maybe even let's say 6 months or a whole year, you could still, do something and have in the back of your mind, I'm doing this only for a result. And that's what's driving you to actually do it. Not because it's a habit. Because when something's actually a habit for you, it's in really your subconscious mind. It's just part of your day-to-day life. Not saying every day you're going to be completely perfect at, following through with habits, but it's the overall bigger picture, right? But in order to actually create a habit, it's not really about I have to do this every single day. No, it's, hey, what is the knowledge and what is the mixture of the lifestyle that creates a habit? So in terms of these 7 essential fat loss habits that we're going to go over here in a little bit, that right there for somebody that, let's say, doesn't know how to get in shape and doesn't know how to eat properly for their body type, their goals, their overall lifestyle, that right there is knowledge, because it's something that they don't have. Right? It's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's knowing how to do something. It's knowledge. But they don't have it. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now over here, the lifestyle is very, very important. And that's why at Heartletics, we focus on creating habits, because most people, right, if let's say, I'm not trying to, dog or, poke names at any other coaches out there or training programs out there. But at the end of the day, most people focus on, hey, here's the knowledge, show up, do the work, and you're going to get the results. And that's fine, right? And that might work for you, but we focus not on that. We focus more so on this, which is, hey, is what you're doing actually sustainable for your overall lifestyle? Because if you can do that, then it's very easy to fit in the knowledge over top of that to actually create habits out of it. So keep in mind, somebody could have all the knowledge in the world. Oh, I know I should be eating like this and doing this and working out. But let's say they're a lifestyle, they don't know how to fit that in. Let's say if somebody is, a truck driver, for example, and they're constantly on the road, they're behind the wheel, and let's say they have a very long commute and they don't have a lot of time on their hands, but somebody's like, okay, cool. Well, you want to get in shape, you need to work out 2 hours, 5 days a week, and don't eat any carbs, don't eat any fast food, don't eat processed foods, just eat chicken and steak, right? Sounds miserable. But think about it. Somebody could do that, but if it doesn't work with their lifestyle, how is it actually going to be sustainable for them? And that's why we always focus on the bigger picture here, which is creating habits, but most importantly, sustainable habits that is not only in the alignment with your health and fitness goals in terms of acquiring the knowledge, but it's also the mixture of your lifestyle. Meaning hey, this is working with you rather than against you. And that is what really creates habits. For the past several years, we've been simply using this 3-step formula for helping our members, as well as just us as coaches, have success at reaching our health and fitness goals. But not only that, any kind of goal that you want. I highly recommend you use this 3-step formula for any goal that you want, whether it's health and fitness goals, whether it's, maybe starting a new business, whatever, anything. It's very simple, right? The first one on here is acquisition. So what does that mean? Well, acquisition, you're acquiring something. And obviously, as I shared with you before, you're acquiring the knowledge, right? What is the thing that you don't know? Because guess what? Where you're trying to get to and try to become the best version of yourself that looks good, feels good, they probably know certain things that you don't know currently right now. Maybe that's how to eat better. Maybe that's how to train better. Maybe that's how to be more consistent. Maybe that's a better mindset. Maybe it's more confidence, whatever the case may be. So there's a gap, right? Between where you are right now, where you're trying to get to over here at least, right? And this bridge is honestly this 3-step formula, right? But the first little, little pillar to that is the acquisition. It's the knowledge. It's, how can I acquire that for myself to help me get over here? And then we have application. So remember, right, in terms of creating habits, you need to have something that works best for your lifestyle, right? That's going to be sustainable for you. So it's like you acquire the knowledge, and then it's most importantly learning, right? How do you apply it to your lifestyle? Because if you're able to do that, then guess what? You're definitely on the right path to having success at reaching your goals. Now, the third pillar is accountability. And in my opinion, this is the most important piece of the puzzle for any goal that you're trying to achieve in your life. You need to have the right people in your corner. Not just supporting you and encouraging you and inspiring you to show up each and every day to fill up your cup. That way you can pour out in others. But most importantly, they're making sure that you're staying on track. They're making sure that you're not falling off the wagon and just completely not showing up for yourself and not showing up for others. Accountability is honestly, we like to say that's the heart in Heartletics. Accountability, like everybody needs people in their corner. Right? That's what's going to push them. That's what's going to help them. That's also where you're going to have a group of people, or maybe just a few people that's going to challenge you. And sometimes they're going to ask you questions. Sometimes they're going to, get you to think about things differently. But also at the same time, hey, maybe they're going to put things in a completely different perspective, right? To help you provide, value and support. But at the same time, they care for you. And that's why accountability is so important. Because remember, this is the mission for you. Right? And I love this analogy because it just makes complete sense. When you fill up your cup, you are able to pour more out in others. If you are not showing up for yourself, how can you actually help out others? I mean, just think about that. I'll use myself for example. Let's say I'm not in shape, right? Let's say I'm 300 pounds. I have type 2 diabetes. I have high blood pressure, big old dad bod going on. And I'm trying to persuade you and tell you, hey, I can help you lose weight. It's like, bro, take your own words of advice. It doesn't make any sense. It's a hypocrite, right? And I know it's a funny analogy, but hopefully it makes sense. Like, think about it. If I'm a fat trainer, right, that's literally like all these health concerns, but yet I'm claiming, oh, I can help you get in shape and I can help you get off your medications. How does that even make sense? Well, think about it like this. If you're not showing up for yourself, how can you once again pour more so out on others? And you can use that little analogy and in any of these cups, right, have a different scenario, right? Maybe it's for your family or something like that where your kids, I know that this with unfortunately a lot of parents out there, the parents have bad habits and that bleeds off into their children to where what happens to their kids? They get picked on, they get bullied, they get made fun of, everything like that. And then you got your parents, right, just kind of sitting there and they're watching Netflix, maybe, eating fast food. And they're kind of, giving you sympathy. Like, oh, it's okay. Like, they're just mean. Don't listen to them. Like, you're perfect. Like, you're amazing. Like, don't worry about that. It's like, what would be better advice? And I love affirmations. I love saying those things, right? But here's better advice. Hey, you know what? Why don't we do something together as a family? So that way, maybe who knows, us getting in shape can then help you get in shape. But also, let's make sure that we're doing things together as a family. I feel like that's way more important and way more helpful to fill up somebody else's cup. Because guess what? You are deciding to fill up your cup. So just think about that, honestly. Where it's like kids are getting picked on, kids are getting bullied. And it's typically because, once again, bad habits just at the household. So how do you change that? Well, hey, the head of the household, you got to take ownership. You got to take responsibility. You got to take priority. You got to say, hey, this is my family. And because of this situation that's going on, I can't point the finger at some other kid for, making fun of my kid. It's like, no, I'm taking responsibility for that. I'm taking that's ownership on me. Because I'm the person that let my kid, right, get that outcome where they don't look the best and maybe they're getting made fun of and get picked on. That's not because of them at all. That's because of me. That's because of me. And once again, most people, they don't think like that, especially in today's society. And it's sad. It really is. And this is why at Heartletics, we make such an importance of show up every day, fill up your cup, become the best version of yourself physically, mentally. Why? So you can do exactly what we're showing you right now, pouring more out into others, making this world a better place. That's why the bigger picture here, it's not just creating habits, it's how do we become the best version of ourselves, not just physically, but also mentally as well. Because if you remember, anybody could have the knowledge, right? Oh, I could obviously, sign up for a gym and start working out, everything like that. But if let's say I'm lacking, right, the lifestyle change of creating that, and fitting that in, it's not going to create a habit. Well, it's very similar when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself. It's not just about the physical habits. You want to know why? Because I hear this all the time from guys. Oh, I just want to lose the gut, get some abs. I feel way more confident if I did that. It's like, really? Because the most insecure people that's out there are typically bodybuilders and physique competitors. Why? They look great. They look amazing. They got the muscles, the abs, the veins popping out, everything like that, right? Greek gods. Why are they so insecure? Because they're literally getting judged on how they are looked. So can we at least agree that confidence has nothing to do with how you look, but confidence has everything to do from the inside? Most people don't know that because most people never take that time to really start adapting and becoming the best version of themselves mentally. So that's why I want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of not just physical habits, but also mental habits as well. And that's why at Heartletics, we focus on that so much, combining the two, because that really leads to success on how to become the best version of yourself. Here are the 7 physical habits that we go over at Heartletics. Very simple stuff. And why is it simple? Because it's a habit, right? Typically, right, a habit or anything like that, it's something that is, once again, the knowledge of, hey, we're trying to get over here to our goals, but also mixed in with the overall lifestyle. That's what creates habits. That's why we don't say, oh, you have to do this. No, instead we work with our members. And we just make sure that these 7 habits, physical habits that we go over with them, we get the understanding, right, that, hey, this is the right path, right, to getting to your health and fitness goals. It's the knowledge, right, that's what you need. You mix that with the lifestyle. Once again, that's how you get the results you're looking for. So let's run through this list here. Calories, right? Does that mean, oh, you have to be exactly strict on eating like 2,000 calories and you can't be, 2,005 calories. You can't be, 19. What? No. This is why, once again, most people make the mistake of following through with these fad diets and doing this and doing this. And then all of a sudden, guess what? After a few weeks, few months, they fall off the wagon. Come on. Maybe that's happened to you before in the past. So when we help out our members when it comes to calories, right, the first fat loss habit, it's a specific range that works best for their body type, their goals, and obviously their lifestyle. Because, hey, maybe some, weekends they want to go out, maybe on a date night or whatever. It's about knowing when and how to manage those calories. Very similar to macros, right? The macronutrients, your proteins, your carbs, your fats. How do we manage that in a way and structure in a way where you're understanding how it applies to your body and your goals. Then we have strength training, focusing on progressive overload, building that strength, But not only that, it's like, what is strength training? How does that help, Not just from a metabolic process of putting on more muscle and helping us lose more body fat, but think about it. That right there is like the mental, right, of showing up. Getting outside your comfort zone, going for some PRs, regardless, right? Maybe you don't feel like working out, but you're showing up. That's right there, building the mental habits. And with strength training, remember, this could be at home with or without equipment, or this could be at the gym, okay? I always like to say that because at the end of the day, if I say strength training, you might be thinking, oh man, I gotta go get a gym membership, and I don't have time to do that. Remember, okay? Lifestyle, knowledge, that's what equals habits. So strength training could be, once again, done at home with or without equipment, as well as the gym. The NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. One of our favorite fat loss habits are Heartletics. It's a simple one, regardless of, what it is that you want to improve on more activity. Maybe that's walking, maybe that's just like playing with your kids or playing some basketball, something like that, where you're just being more mindful of the fact that, hey, I probably shouldn't be too sedentary because obviously there's health concerns with that. Hydration, that's big. Once again, most people aren't drinking enough water. Your body's over 60% water anyways. Your organs need water. Your muscles need water. Think about it. If you ever take a look at, let's say, your urine, yeah, you can clearly tell if you're dehydrated, right? So I would make sure, use that as an example, but also at the same time, just give yourself a goal. Maybe it's like half a gallon or, 3/4 of a gallon or, 1 gallon of water. I promise you, if you're drinking that much water, you're probably pretty much going to be in the clear and you're not going to be feeling dehydrated. But if you ever take a look at your urine and let's say it's like dark brown or whatever the case may be, just Google search it and you kind of find an image for yourself. That's not good. And think about it like this. Your organs need water. Your muscles need water, right? Your whole body pretty much needs water. So if you're dehydrated, what are you doing to yourself? Well, you're going into the sixth, right? Fat loss habit right here, which is stress. So if you're dehydrated, your organs, right? Your muscles, all that stuff, you're putting stress on your body and you don't even know it. Plain and simple. Like all of these things, right? In terms of the habits, they all combine within each other. Stress management. This right here, between this one and the seventh one, which is recovery, are the most important, habits when it comes to this list right here. I say it all the time. Somebody could be working out religiously. They could be dialed into their nutrition, hitting their goals, getting plenty of steps in, and let's say drinking plenty of water. But if they're highly stressed underneath all this cortisol, they're going to be just shooting themselves in the foot. Because honestly, like you could be showing up and once again doing all the right things, but not getting the ROI, not getting the results. And you may be wondering, what gives? I'm working out, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing everything right. But internally, you're dealing with all this stress, anxiety, right? Doubt, fear. That's just hurting you out in the long run. Recovery, once again, then that's like everything that we're going over. If you're eating, right, in a certain range for your goals, right? If you're eating next to nothing, guess what, right? The person that's eating next to nothing, that's going to be causing stress. So they're not going to be recovering properly versus compared to somebody else that's, making sure they're eating plenty of the right foods, for their body type, their goals, everything like that. At the same time, sleep, that's a huge aspect to recovery as well. And if you're somebody that is getting, on average 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, I highly recommend this. Do your own research, okay? Now, I got plenty of content and videos going over all this, but do your own research on just sleep. That's it. Because remember, stress and recovery, that's like the building block, the foundation to make sure that all the other habits are, in sync and we're getting the results we're looking for. So the most important one on there, recovery. And make sure you do your own research. Educate yourself, right? Knowledge is power. But it's just like, hey, you got to make sure that you're applying that. And some of the videos that I made going over just, recovery and sleep, I go over some great tips in terms of how to just improve your overall sleep. Whether it's just turning off the lights, turning off devices, whether it's setting like a routine time, like, hey, I'm going to be at bed at this time. Maybe it's drinking some sleepy time tea before you go to bed. That always helps. There's so many different tools. There's so many different things that you can do here. And I just want you to see the overall picture here. These 7 habits, these are not hard at all. This is stuff that honestly, if you just do this, these physical habits, just do this, you're going to see dramatic changes within not just your overall health, but just your overall life in general. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. That's what we want. Right, is once again helping you fill up your cup. That way you can pour more out into others. But remember, don't just focus on the physical. You need to focus on the mental habits as well. And these are the 7 mental habits that we like to go over at Heartlex. I'll just give you a quick rundown. The first one's gratitude. Your life will change when you start waking up and you start realizing how grateful and thankful you are for all the things going on in your life right now. You might hate your job, but guess what? That job pays the bills. Right? That job provides for your family. You might, let's say, hate your health and hate your life, but regardless, you woke up today, somebody didn't. Once again, there's so many things. Just be open-minded and literally open up your eyes as well and see. There's so much you probably have going on for you right now, but you never actually took the time to sit back and actually realize how grateful, and how thankful you really should be. So, we go over different things in terms of maybe a gratitude journal or a gratitude, walk, or just once again, different aspects of how can we focus on that. The second one I hear is self-reflection. And this is a great tool for personally myself, where I can just look back at the course of the end of the day. I like to pick anywhere from 10 to about 20 different things in terms of what did I do right today? And I call this the winner effect, honestly. This is very important, I promise. If you start doing this, your life will probably change real quick. So before you go to sleep, take out your journal, the same journal that maybe you just wrote out in the morning of, the things you're grateful for. That way it's like, hey, just flip the page and you can write on there for the evening side. And it's self-reflection, meaning, hey, write out a list, 10 to 20 things, okay, that you did right. And that could be something like, hey, I worked out today. That could be something like I hit my goals. But it could also be something like just like small stuff too that maybe you just don't think about. Maybe that's like telling your spouse that, you love them. Maybe it is you made lunch for yourself. Maybe, you decide to hold the door open for somebody, as they're walking into the building. Regardless, like this stuff could be super small, right? Did the dishes, whatever, showed up to work on time. And the reason why this is very, very powerful is because after you compile this list of 10 to 20 things, if you want to do more, go for it. I just personally do 10 to 20 things. It's your winners list. And so it's like, okay, hey, I just finished off this as the winners list. This is great. And then the last little thing that I like to do is I rank myself. How did I show up today? And I just do 1 to 10. If I feel, and this is all personal preference, just like how it should be a personal preference for yourself, right? There's not oh, Joe, how do you rank from, let's say, 8 to 10 and let's say, 6 to 8? Like, how do you, figure that out? Listen, don't get all lost in the sauce here, okay? Just rank yourself. How did you show up today? How did you perform? 1 out of 10. Like some days I crush it in the gym, I hit my goals, but I realize here, like, I wasn't present, for family, movie night or family game night, whatever. Like, I didn't show so much affection on that side. Well, it's okay. Maybe I'm a 7. Other days, crushing it, right? All around, just gym, business, family life. Hey, maybe I'm a 9, maybe I'm a 10. It's up to you. But just, think about it. Just be honest with yourself. Like, however you feel that ranking system should be, it's a great tool to start implementing, right? So it's like the night before you go to sleep, write out a list of 10 to 20 things that you did right, the winners, right? The winners effect, and then rank yourself. And the reason why this is so important is because first thing in the morning, you're more in tune with your subconscious mind, right? We have these different brain waves. And then also right before you go to sleep. So realistically, if let's say you wake up first in the morning, immediately start thinking about things that you're grateful for. Maybe, take out a journal, write it down. That's great. That's getting into your mindset. That's shifting and changing your entire life right there. And then before you go to sleep, you're going to sleep on a positive note. You might have had the worst day ever, but who knows? Maybe you got at least 10 wins on there. That's all. And maybe you ranked yourself 5 out of 10. Who cares? You are still better than who you were yesterday because you decided to show up. You're following through with the right actions. And the self-reflection is like, okay, once again, subconscious mind before you go to bed, and also as soon as you wake up, you got like this time period, right? Where, how can we get in there? Because that changes everything. So it's like, why are we doing this? Well, I want to make sure that first in the morning, I'm not worried about what I don't have. I'm more grateful for the things I do have. And then right before I go to sleep, all I want to focus on is like, hey, did I show up today? Did I win today? I got a list of at least 10 things. Yeah, I won. That's it. Didn't say I'm perfect, but I'm going to sleep knowing that, hey, I'm a winner. And I highly recommend you do the same as well. The third mental habit is acquiring knowledge, right? Gaining knowledge. Knowledge is power. Okay? If you want, anything in the world, honestly, don't ask for money. Don't ask for this and this and this. You want the best thing to get anything in life, right, that's worthwhile. Ask for wisdom. Ask for knowledge. Like, that's it. You should be on this path of enjoying life, but also trying to constantly improve yourself. That way you're not just sitting there in your comfort zone, watching everybody else have success, and you're just rotting away, just like, oh, must be nice for them. It's like, no. If somebody has the job you want, or the money that you want, or the occupation, or the results, right? Or, the health and fitness, or whatever the case may be, if they can do it, you can do it too. Acquire the knowledge, acquire the wisdom. How can it be done? Maybe that is you reading a book. Maybe that's you hiring a mentor or a coach. Maybe that is you listening to a podcast, or, reading, whatever. Spend 30 minutes a day at least acquiring knowledge to, once again, just help you with that self-improvement. The fourth is called declaration. And this is a great one. This is a great tool. There's just something about it where you're declaring something for yourself, almost like a creed, like a personal statement to yourself, a declaration. Hey, I'm going to show up today. I'm going to put in the work, right? And so have different declarations for yourself, or if you want to call them affirmations, call them that. Have different declarations for yourself, depending on the day and also the mood that you're in. Some days, once again, I don't feel like showing up, okay? Some days I feel like feeding the bad wolf. On those days, all I'm going to simply do is maybe say to myself, maybe it's either in the mirror, maybe it's just on my way to, the gym, or maybe it's just sitting down at the office. But regardless, I'm just going to say to myself, right? Maybe just a few times, whatever I do today, I'm going to make sure that I show up the best way possible. I mean, think about it. Like, that's an affirmation. That's a declaration right there. Maybe on days where I feel like, strong and, powerful, and I'm crushing it. Like, I got this winner's effect going on. Everything I do, I'm just constantly winning at life. On those days, hey, I might just say to myself, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. And the reason why I think it's so important to have these internal conversations with yourself is because most of the time, most people are their own worst enemies, their own worst critics. Meaning that, like, hey, if your spouse, right, let's say got a promotion at their job, you probably say, congratulations, I love you. Let's say you got a promotion at your job. Have you ever told yourself, congratulations, that you love you? Probably not. Let's say your kid gets an A+ on their homework. You're going to say, I'm proud of you. Have you ever told yourself that you're proud of yourself? Probably not. If, let's say, your best friend, right, decided to do a weight loss program, and the first week, right, they didn't lose any weight at all, and they're coming to you and they're complaining and they're like, oh man, I didn't lose any weight. Well, you're realistically going to probably tell them, like, dude, you just started. Give it some time. It's going to happen. Just don't give up. Stay consistent. Do you tell yourself that same advice? It's like, this is why declaration is so important, because at least as a man, you have to learn, like, to become your own best friend, honestly, because that's going to build so much confidence. And it's that internal, conversation that we have within ourselves. And that's what kind of helps amplify that, because most of the time, people have negative thoughts. Once again, they're watching news, right, with scarcity and all the deaths, all the killings, it's just getting in their mindsets where that's their reality. So if you can realistically start talking to yourself like your own best friend and like you are a winner, odds are you might have a completely different outlook on life. Then we have meditation, which, in my opinion, meditation was the single most important thing that has changed my life in the most dramatic way, right? And I highly recommend everybody should be open-minded to trying meditation. But I do want to say this, okay? The physical habits, remember, we went over those, the walking, the calories, strength training, etc. That's great. That's the knowledge. But in order to create a habit, it has to mix in with your lifestyle. That's what formulates the habit. Well, with anything, right, whether it's physical habits or mental habits, it's, once again, it needs to work best for your lifestyle. So in meditation, there's different forms, okay? It's not a Buddhist monk sitting like this for, 8 hours a day just meditating. No. Start off small. Maybe it's 5-10 minutes a day. And there's different forms of meditation. You can go to YouTube and find some guided meditations. Those are very easy, helpful. I personally do those. There's other ones where maybe you just want to focus on deep thinking too. So maybe that's just taking some time throughout the course of your day, 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever. Put in some headphones with some binaural beats or lo-fi beats. That way you're kind of blocking out any kind of, lyrics or outside noise. And maybe just doing some deep thinking or some reflecting, That right there's a form of meditation. Prayer, that's a huge form of meditation right there as well. Then we have simple things like just going to the park and maybe just sitting on the bench, close your eyes, listening to the birds chirp and maybe like the leaves flowing throughout the ground or the wind there. It's regardless, whatever gets you into a meditated state. So what is a meditated state? Because this is what I really want you to understand what meditation is. A meditated state is when you're focused on the present moment. And that's what meditation really is. Meaning like whatever form you do or whatever tool or technique that you use, you're just collecting your thoughts. And once again, you're kind of just bringing everything back into sync, if that makes sense. It's hard, right? Especially in today's society because we're constantly want, right? So we're chasing things like, I want this, I want this, I want this. So we never really take time to kind of figure out where we're at right now, just right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Also, people are very, very worried, right? In terms of watching stuff on social media and the news. So it's like that creates a lot of doubt. That creates a lot of fear. Well, if you're in the present moment, you can collectively just say, okay, hey, I'm sitting here. I'm safe. It's okay. I'm not hurt. I'm not dying, anything like that. And once again, you can kind of like collect your thoughts, get into the present moment, focus on your breath work. And that way you're not worried about the future. You're not worried about the past. That's why meditation is very, very important. At least also personally for myself, I like to say, because that had a huge just change up in terms of everything with my life. Meditation, prayer, different aspects of that to really just help me once again realizing like what are the areas of my life that I need to improve on and start focusing. And I can never see those areas of self-improvement that I need to start developing if I'm constantly, focused on this going on and this and this and this, all these different distractions. The sixth is your comfort zone. And I love this one, honestly. Like every single day, you should focus on stepping outside your comfort zone. Most people think like, oh, that must be like something crazy, right? Like go jumping out of a plane or, sign up for a boxing match and you don't even know how to fight, or just go quit your job and, go live off the land. Hey, can we just be realistic here? So what do I mean when it comes to stepping outside your comfort zone? Well, maybe that's calling up a friend or a loved one that you haven't talked in a long time and maybe just checking in with them. Maybe it's also you showing up for the gym and you have the right intention because who knows? Maybe you had a declaration the morning of saying, I'm going to hit a PR today. I'm going to crush it in the gym today. So your comfort zone now is like, okay, hey, we're showing up and we're going to try to hit a PR. Simple things like that. Like, once again, with anything that's on this list here, it's whatever works best for your lifestyle. Whatever helps you move the needle to becoming the best version of yourself mentally and physically. That way, once again, you can pour into you more so you can pour out into others as well. And the last one is the winner's circle. So if you remember these 7 fat loss habits that we went over, the last one was the most important, which is recovery. This right here are the mental habits, the winner's circle. It's the most important as well. So what does that mean? Well, the winner's circle is your form of, let's say, accountability. I went over the 3-step formula for success at reaching your goals. Acquisition, which is acquiring the knowledge. Application, which is how do we apply that to your own lifestyle. And the third is accountability. The glue that holds it all together, making sure that we're on the right track. Well, the winner's circle is simply who's in your circle that's also winners. That's, hey, we're all sticking together. Because when all the winners are together, think about it. We're able to support each other. We're able to help each other grow. We're able to push each other, motivate each other. You've got to make sure that you have your own winner's circle. You need it. You need the right people in your corner that is, once again, holding you accountable, encouraging you, supporting you. Because when you have those people that is in your corner helping you, it's very, very hard to fall. It's very, very hard to constantly just not show up for yourself. When you have the right people that's encouraging you and helping you, honestly, like I said, it is probably the most important habit to have. Hopefully you guys got some value from today's video. Now keep in mind that at the end of the day, with everything that we go over at Heartletics, right? It's about habits, but it's not like you have to be diligent each and every day and have to follow through with this. No, right? I want you to make sure that you're on the right path, right? You know the knowledge, you know the habits, and what works best for your lifestyle, right? Everything like that. But also just keep in mind that you're gonna have some days where you don't feel like showing up. You're going to have some days where you don't feel like working out, feel like eating healthy. You're going to have some days where you fall into temptation. You fall into just who you were of the past, right? Because you got to keep in mind, and this is just a mental reminder to myself also, when I don't feel like showing up, that's that bad wolf. That is the identity that you're trying to flee away from. Okay. So think about it like a mental image in your head of like you literally trying to run away from, let's just say, like a wolf, right? Like a bad wolf, like literally trying to kill you. And it's going to be dealing with this, fight versus flight mentality. And there's going to be times where, hey, you're going to cave in, the bad wolf's going to creep up and, bite you here and there. And yeah, you're not going to move as fast, right? With a big, huge wound in your leg compared to if, you never fed the bad wolf. But what matters the most is that when you get bitten, right, guess what? Maybe make the next step a small step, okay? Because you don't want to just stop there. You don't want to just lay limb, right? And next thing you know, you're getting devoured upon. We don't want that for you, right? So it's just like, at times, myself included, right, that bad wolf takes a bite. Sometimes it's a big bite. Other times it's a little bite. But regardless, okay, this is why we focus on, physical habits, but also at the same time, mental habits. Because regardless of the circumstances, we are still in full operations and ownership to say, hey, regardless of this, regardless of the environment, regardless of the circumstances, I'm going to show up today. Sure, I'm not going to be at 210% compared to, if let's say life was great, but regardless, I'm going to show up. So I want you to think, right? When the bad wolf comes creeping in and you don't feel like showing up, okay, so you don't feel like working out, you don't feel like eating healthy, you don't feel like following through with all the habits to become the best version of yourself. Because, hey, there's times where you're in a funk. I want you to focus on what is something that you can do. That's it. Not everything. What is something that you can do? Maybe that's trying to get your 10,000 steps in because you're focused on the NEAT. Maybe that's a commitment to yourself saying, okay, hey, I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm just going to do at least 100 push-ups and that's it, right? Just 100 push-ups and that's it. Maybe after the push-ups, you'll maybe feel a little bit better about yourself, or maybe you'll feel like, okay, you know what? Hey, it wasn't so bad. Let's maybe make it 200, whatever the case may be. I know personally for myself, if at times when I don't feel like showing up and going to the gym, I will tell myself, hey, let's just show up and let's just warm up on the treadmill. That's it, right? And there might be times where I don't use the weights. I just use the treadmill. But regardless, I showed up. I made that drive. I got out of bed, so it's like, that's the discipline that I want you to understand is you don't need to be perfect every single day because you're not. Look at the overall picture. There's 365 days out of the year, right? Let's just mark up 65 of those days as, let's say, holidays, anniversaries, sick days, kids' birthdays, dinner dates, whatever the case may be, where it's these occasions of life where there's probably going to be, all this food or, these sick days, as I mentioned, where you just don't feel like getting out of the bed regardless, okay? Let's just put that up and say there's 65 days of those in the entire year, okay? So what does that leave you with? 300 days left, okay? The 300 days, that's where I want to make sure that you're showing up. Because every single year, if you can show up for 300 days out of 365 days, can we not agree that that's still a winning track record there? I think we can, So I want to make sure that you have all the right inspiration, the right motivation, most importantly, the right knowledge, the right tools to know, hey, let's at least do something. Let's at least, have a little bit of discipline, a little bit of consistency. Maybe not the most, but regardless, we're still showing up. We're still trying our best to mold our rate and, fill up our cups. That way we can help out others at the end of the day. Okay. Hopefully, you guys, once again, got some value from today's episode. This has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.